All right, welcome back. We're going to be having some fun today with still a super natural, easy look. Hey, say hello to my cat. That's my annoying little fur ball. She's a little sassy and she loves getting attention when I do my makeup. So here she is today. So I'm going to start off with my skincare. We're doing a little bit more of a natural kind of smoky look. This is the Ordinary Buffet Solution. It's good for everything. That's why it's called Buffet. You get a little bit of anti-aging, you get a little bit of hydration, you get a bunch of stuff. So I'm putting that on first and then moving into my Complete Comfort Cream by MAC. This is my favorite all-time cream. I know it's for drier skin. My skin's oily, but it has been dry lately because the weather hasn't been great. So I just put a generous amount on and then I let that sit. My boyfriend decided to come in while I'm doing a little video. He likes to annoy me. JK, I love him. So primer. Again, my skin's oily, so I'm putting this Pore Refiner Stick from MAC on my face, mainly in the T-zone. And I like to press that in with my hands after. That just ensures that it's really pressed into the skin to smooth any texture issues I have. Keeps those areas matte as well. My OG Studio Fix Fluid. It's a great full coverage foundation, but I like to try and use as little as possible. I don't like to use a heavy kind of product on my skin, so I just use it where I need, mainly cheeks. Right now, chin is breaking out, and then a little bit on my forehead, just to even some of the redness. I'm using a MAC 130 brush. It's beautiful because it's dense enough to give you coverage, but it's flimsy enough to really blend and press into the skin. So onto concealer, sticking with the Studio Fix line. The Smoothwear concealer is my favorite because it doesn't look dry on my skin. So I put this under eyes just because I do feel like I have a little bit of darkness. Around my mouth has a lot of breakouts lately. And besides that, I just put it on the rest of the face where I still feel like I have a bit of redness showing through. Again, yes, these are medium to full coverage products, but if you use them more precisely, you'll get a full coverage look with a heck of a lot less of product on your skin. Using the same brush, by the way. I like to use the same brush for quite a few different things. So this is a MAC Pro product. It's one of their cream contour palettes. I wanted to do cream because, again, it looks super natural on the skin. And I'm using the more taupe shade. I can't remember the shade right now. Let me just see. I'll mention it later. But basically, it's a beautiful taupe shade for fair skin. And you just want to draw the number 3 on the side of the face. Now, I go a little bit higher than what my natural cheekbone is because I have a rounder face and I want to sharpen my lines up a little bit. Here we go. I found the shade. So the shade is actually called Rolling Stone. Now I do go back in with a different shade from the palette. I actually use the next shade, which is called Dark Honey. It's a little bit more of a fair to medium skin tone bronzer shade. And I put that like this right on the top high point of my cheek to add a bit more of a bronze look. And I'm going in with translucent powder. Now, this particular powder is the Invisible Set Powder from MAC Pro. This is a little bit more talc based, so you do use a little bit less. And then I go in with the contour shade. Now, this you can get in the light medium shape and contour palette. But I'm going in just to set the bronzer because it is a cream. I want to make sure it stays on all day. I'm going in with blush. This was part of their limited edition collection, but you can use any kind of peachy pink tone. And I just lightly apply that to the apples of my cheek. And then I go in with a highlight. I wanted a more natural highlight, so I went in with Shell Cream Color Base from MAC. The package that it was in was limited edition, but you can get this at any time. And I actually like to use my hands. Really pat it in. The heat from your hands really warms it up, and it looks absolutely glowing on the skin. It's absolutely beautiful. It's definitely one of my favorite highlights to use on any skin type. Now these set, so they do last quite a long time during the day. Onto brows. Before I do anything with my brows, I do like to do a brow set. I brush my hair straight up. That way I can place it where I want it and then lightly knock some of those long hairs down. Before I finish off the brows, I'm letting the brow set dry, and I'm going in with the concealer to use as a primer. When blending this out, I do like to use a very flat brush. This is just because I want to do less work to my brows as possible, and I actually just kind of underline my brow with the sharp edge of the brush, and it shapes them without having to really fill them in. Now time for the shadow. I'm using the Modern Renaissance palette. In this palette, I'll use quite a few different shades, but the main shade here is Raw Sienna. This is going on the outer corner of my eye, and I just lightly kind of do back and forth windshield wiper motions and circle motions just to blend it out. Primavera is one of my favorite shadows, very similar to All That Glitters by MAC, but it's a bit creamier, less pieces of glitter. So it really goes on super, super smooth with lots of shine. That's just going on my lid. I don't want to go higher than that, just because I'm going to be using a different brow bone shade. You don't always have to do a brow bone, but I really want my brow line to pop. And really bring it into that inner corner. It really makes a huge difference and makes your eyes look quite large. My next shade is going to be Warm Taupe. I like dealing with mattes in the crease. That way it doesn't reflect too much light and too much wrinkle. I'm going in with a MAC 239. A lot of people don't use this for a crease brush, but here I'm trying to be quite a bit precise. So just working it in the outer corner, just like we did with the Raw Sienna, but we're not going to blend in circular motions as large. We're just going to use a windshield wiper motion, just like you see here. Now, time for this shade. So this is a limited edition shade. However, any kind of deep plum, you could even do more of like a navy shade if you want. I'm not going to name the shade because you're not going to be able to get it, so I'm sorry guys, but you can use even Shadowy Lady. Even if you did Plumage from MAC, would be absolutely stunning. But I'm just using a shader brush that's very short, very dense, and I'm just packing it into my lash line. This is going to be my liner. Now what I like to do is I wing it out and I use my finger to lightly pull because I want this to be messy. I don't want this to be perfect. So I press and dab and then use my finger to pull that line outwards and blend that. Now the next thing I do is I actually lightly rub the brush that we used with the lid color and I run that over top of the purple liner. The reason why is I just want it super, super blended and faded into what we already had. And I take the shader brush with that plum and I put it underneath the bottom lash line. I know a lot of people don't do this, but to create a smoky effect, I do want to have a dark lash line. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm actually just grabbing the warm taupe and applying that to the middle of the under eye. And that's just going to blend out the plum shade. And I'm going back in with Primavera into the inner corner. Again, we're popping that eye just a little bit more and causing that light to really make it look nice, big and open. Now I'm taking the tempera and I'm putting that right on the brow bone. It's a beautiful bone shade with a little bit of a sheen. So it's really going to pop in the light and just make the shape of my brow stand out that much more. Now it's time for mascara. I love my mascara. I'm using In Extreme Dimension Lash. And I'm really working that into my lashes. Now, do not judge me or mention that I have mascara on my lid. I'm one of those people that if it happens, it happens. I really don't care. So I'm letting it be and you'll see it this whole video. I love a good chunkier lash. So I'm really just giving her for my bottom lashes. And it's already a dark eyelash look anyway that I want those lashes to pop. So before I do my other eye, I'm going to actually finish my brows. So now that the brow set has dried, I'm going in with MAC's Shape and Shade brow pencil in Spiked. And I'm using the marker end. And because I naturally already have thick brows, I'm just lightly drawing in some thicker hairs to give it a bit more of a sharper shape, as well as fill in any gaps. Now that both eyes are done, don't judge me with that mascara spot. I need to do a little bit of lip pencils. So I'm going in with MAC's Edge to Edge. It's one of my favorite pinks because it's a natural shade, but it's a blue pink. And I like to line and shape my lips. I don't like to fill in my lips, but I do want a really nice sharp edge. It doesn't take any extra time. It takes 2 seconds. Just really line that outer edge and you'll get a perfect shape with a long-lasting color. Everyone's got that crazy like lip liner face. So I'm just watching this and I'm like, oh my God. So this is Merh. This is a classic neutral mauve lip. It's a matte, applies so creamy, so smooth, and it works really well with edge to edge for a pop of color on the lips. Besides that, we're almost done. Now I'm not a hairstylist, but I got to do my hair just a little bit for this. So I just did a light curl and we're good to go. This look, you can literally pull it off in just a couple of minutes. It's a little bit more than au naturel, but it's not so much that it looks too overdone. It is perfect for blue eyes and green eyes especially, and even glasses wearers like me. Having the smoky liner, it really pops from behind the frames. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to come out with something a little bit more trendy soon. See you later.